Chicago. I'm out here today. This has probably been my first opportunity as the weather break to go around, and I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce you to some of the new sculptural features that we're putting across our parks, that we're going to be putting in our thoroughfares. You can see the sculpture that we put in the roundabout. They say any progressive city emphasizes the arts. And this is something I wanted the children to look up and see beauty when they're in the parks. Not only do they come to just play basketball, or people come to walk around the path, or the new bike trail that we're gonna put down here in Kosciuszko. We wanted to show them sculpture feature. And this sculpture was born out of the idea when we put the Monarch Butterfly Fest in place, which was very successful before the pandemic. If you look, we just installed this feature. It's probably been here less than 30 days. And I just wanted to let you know the detail that went into this sculpture, the time and effort that was put into it. We wanted a sculpture that during the daytime, it projected beauty. During the night, we can illuminate it. It will continue to project beauty. So for 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, you can come here and see this statue. Steve, if you just pan on up a little to the butterflies there, you can see the light goes through the butterflies. It reflects off the butterflies. You can see the monarch butterfly. It ties into with our community, into the Mexican community, where the butterflies go all the way down to Mexico. Then they make that travel all the way back up here. And you look at something that's so fragile and you say, how can it do that? But it's wonderfully designed, and we're even designed greater. So, you know, we only limited by our imagination. But look at the feature. It towers up. It's probably about 18 feet in the air. You can see the sun. Steve, pan down as the sun go through each butterfly. It reflects down on the ground. You can see all the butterflies, the reflection that comes down there. That's during the day. During the day. At night, Steve, again, go up. You can see the LED lights that at night, those 3 lights that you see are going to project. They're going to go through the butterflies, because the butterflies become translucent. Then they glow at night, and the light goes through them, and then it radiates into the sky. So even though you look at it and it's simplistic, yet it displays such greatness, because light gives you the different hues, everything, and our children can see all of that. So this is just one of many that we're going to go around today and share with you. But again, it was one of the things that I wanted to do with our city. I wanted to put the sculpture features, because beauty begets beauty, and it becomes beautiful thoughts. So that's what came out of this sculptural feature here. In Chicago, we have just arrived at Tide Park. As you can see, this is one of the latest sculptural features that we put out in Tide. This one is taking the theme of I love my city. It's showing the heart. It's showing the red and white, the colors that we emphasize. Red, we tell everybody that's the color of blood, meaning that's life. Blood gives us life. And then white, meaning it's an empty palette that you can put on white whatever you want, any splash of color, whatever idea you have. So this is the symbolism between the red and the white. But also you see the heart design, you see the I love my city. And then also we added a little extra touch to it, where the kids or anyone visiting our park can now come, be a part, and they can catch a personal memento. I mean, you can have an individual stand here, and then you can have a couple, one stand on this side, one stand on this side, and show their affection for each other. But again, interaction. We wanted artwork that was interactive, and that's what I think, in a simplistic way, we achieved here with this. In Chicago, this is an additional sculpture feature that we put here in Tide Park. This one, if you show, it show a global type theme to it. That's where you see the spear here, but then you see all of the hands, and the hands, no matter what, all around the world. That's what this represents. This represents UNITY, meaning that as a community, we should be together. A hand helping a hand. Everybody coming together. So this is what this is symbolic of. But again, it's interactive, because if you look at the spear or the ball here, it's a reflective material. So you can come and see yourself. If you look here, you can reflect, and I can see myself. So the sculpture pulls you in. And again, it's a play on light. As the sun comes, the sun reflects off of this beam. It beams down the shadow on the ground. All of these are just little bitty things that we want to give our children or anybody that's walking in our pathways, in our park, something that the eye can find pleasurable. Same thing, East Chicago. We're here at Washington Park. We're here at the greenhouse. You can see the mural that we put here. Again, just bringing beauty in. You can see all the egrets and the herrings. You can the painting and the colors are so alive. It looks like the birds are actually flying. This is what we want our children to see. This is what we want our visitors to see when they come to the main office. We've been in a constant state of beautification across the city. We will continue that into 21. We've been blessed with the extra revenue to do these things. But East Chicago, the best is yet to come when it comes to art and sculptural features. We set to put multiple murals honoring people, past and present, in our city. We will finish phase 2 of putting sculpture features in our parks. We have about 3 additional parks that we have to put them in. We ask you for your patience, but everybody gonna get a little touch of beauty across this city. East Chicago, again, we're here at Washington Park, where we want to show you the latest sculpture features that we put in. This was to memorialize when we had a zoo here. At one time, they had a petting zoo right here in Washington Park. So we took that theme and we put life-size animals so that our children could mimic standing next to an elephant and see the relativeness between how tall they are and how tall this animal is. This is life-size. Each statue in here is life-size. So even if they didn't go to a real zoo, even if they didn't visit the country of origin, or even go to Brookfield or whatever, there's another one, Lincoln Park Zoo. They could see, and I mean to scale. This is built to scale, and I give you an example of what I'm talking about. They can come and they can interact with this statue. This statue is what they call Core 10. It's made, you'll see the same thing on the visitor center, where years and years they had the Core 10. This represent what? Our steel industry, and at the same time, they can touch it. It's indestructible. This is 1/4-inch plate. It's made to get the patina on here, and then we illuminate it at night. But when I say they can stand and see, now you can see my relative size to the statue. Can you imagine if a kid is this small and then he can look up and he can see? And this is an inanimate object, but can you imagine when they see the scale of this, then they can start appreciating the beauty of why we should protect our wildlife. And that's where this idea was born out of. Give our children something. What? Again, it has an interactive feature to it. You can come and touch it, feel it. You can stand next to it. You can look and say, oh man, this is how long his trunk would be. You can stand there and see, oh, this is how floppy his ears is. They can see the relative size. So again, this is what we wanted to portray in the sculpture. And again, at night, even where it says Washington Park Zoo, that illuminates. And if you come here at night, it all glows. But again, you have a deer here, you have a giraffe. They can stand next to the giraffe and see the relative size and look up. Look up and say, wow, look how magnificent it is. So these are the things we wanted to capture. They can come over here next to the lion and see how big the king of the jungle is. They can stand next to a lion and see. So that's what we want in there. Then they can see the bear at his most magnificent stance. They say the bear is at his most menacing state when he stand up. Because now he go from a low stature to now towering over anything human that he may encounter. So again, we wanted to let them see this and be able to interact. They can interact with any part of this. This ain't going nowhere. So that's what we wanted to achieve, and we glad we did it. In Chicago, we're here in the final leg of our tour. This was phase 1 of sculptures in the park. We're now at Sunnyside Park. This is one, again, we put the butterfly theme on it. You know, a butterfly is symbolic of just being a free spirit, you know, something that seems so vulnerable, but yet it has strength. It goes against the wind. It can travel distances. And again, we just want to show the beauty. And again, you can see the butterflies going from large to small as they look like they're taking flight. Okay, as they look like they're taking flight. And that's what this was symbolic. Again, we wanted to add color. Again, something you can interact with. This is a 1/2 inch thick on this. It's been powder coated, where you got a nice even paint finish to it. But again, this is set to last years and years and years. But this is part of what we wanted to do with art in the park. This is another feature that we have in Sunnyside. It's called Dragonflies in Flight. Again, you can see that theme of we got insects that can take off, that have mastered the air currents and just seamlessly can float with the air, be as one with the air. And that's what we want our children to see. And what did we tell you? All this stuff is interactive. You can touch it. It's made to be touched. And even though we don't encourage it, you know, sometimes they be a little curious. But as you can see, you get to play off of the light when the sun reflects off of it. And what did I also tell you? I told you it's made that when the sun is out, the sun will beam through it, and you can see the shadows on the ground, that when the sun goes through the features or the wings, you can see the little holes in it. Then you can also see the shadow on the ground. So it's almost like you can look at it up in the air, and you can also play with the shadows on the ground. So all of this was phase 1. We're getting ready to do phase 2 to do the rest of the parks. And then we're gonna double down, and we're gonna put even more sculptural features in the park. But everything we put in here, we're gonna try to make it interactive so the children can at least touch it, or at least admire it close up. We don't want to have sculptural features that we got to put fences around. You know, so again, East Chicago, bear with us, and more beauty is yet to come.